My name is Will Crosby. I'm the Vice President of Brewing Operations here at Surly Brewing Company. One of the main ingredients in beer is malted barley. Raw barley is the crop that's grown. Barley, like any other crop, is a starchy grain. We actually need to convert that starch into sugar in order to make beer with it. The process that allows us to activate that conversion from starch to sugar is the process of malting. That basically allows those enzymes that are naturally present in the acrospire of the barley grain to then be activated when we heat them up in the mash process, and that converts the starch potential that's in that grain into usable sugars for us to ferment. Malt has a massive effect on the overall flavor, the color, the mouthfeel, all of those things in the beer. Most beer, you're going to start with a base malt, which is a pale malt, meaning that it's been kilned only a slight amount, and so it doesn't create a lot of color. The longer that you kiln malt, the more color you're going to form, and that's going to carry through into the beer. So your base malt is going to have very little color, whereas if we're making a stout or a porter or something along those lines, you might use a crystal malt, which has been kilned to a much higher temperature, or a black malt, things along those lines that are going to carry through a lot more color and flavor. Think about building a beer from the ground up. You're going to start with that base malt, and that's going to be the main malt, the main sugar source for your beer. That's going to create the alcohol that's going to give you the baseline of what you want. But similar to adding spices in a recipe, you might want to add a little bit of this roasted barley to add kind of spiciness, or some rye to add spice or flavor character. So you can basically add all of these different specialty malts in different combinations to kind of create that spice or that different profile in your beer. Malt is traditionally grown in cool climates. Most of the malt that we use here in North America, like our base malt, comes from Canada. Some is grown in Montana, but a lot of it is grown in the plains of Canada. There's also a massive import market. A lot of the specialty malts that we use, specifically, like if you look at a beer like Oktoberfest that we release every year, that's using almost exclusively German malts that are imported from a traditional German maltster. So a lot of the traditional beer-producing countries, so like Germany, England, places like that, have specialty malts that are really commonly used by craft brewers around the country. I think that if we're going to execute on a style, we commit to trying to do it to the best of our ability, and part of that is sourcing the proper ingredients. So ensuring that you're using the best quality ingredients you can, spending a little more when it makes sense to find that correct ingredient, because it really can be hard to replace the profile you get from exactly what you're looking for.